Tengok berkali-kali apa yang Cha ajar. Bila melibatkan teknik, yes. You kena okay guys. Alright. This is the structure of plasma membrane. Okay. Structure of plasma membrane. Kita ada beberapa komponen penting yang kita kena label. Benda ni nampak macam menarik kan? Ni kalau buat corak baju kurung pun ngam ni. Corak ni. Apa tu? Hujung-hujung tangan tu yang orang sulam kan? Bolehlah buat baju raya tema biology. Okay. So, plasma membrane or cell membrane. Kenapa? Cell mesti kena ada cell membrane. Because to regulate the movement of substances into and out of the cell. Ini adalah definition ataupun function of cell membrane yang kita belajar in previous class. Okay, kenapa kita kena ada? Because molecule tu, ada certain molecule, they need to go into the cell. What is it? That is the nutrient and oxygen. Okay, so plasma membrane or cell membrane ni akan regulate nutrient yang masuk ke dalam sel, oksigen yang masuk ke dalam sel. And then at the same time, bila oksigen dah masuk into the cell, the oxygen will be used up by the cell. When the oxygen used up by the cell, then they will release metabolic waste. Okay, metabolic waste tu apa? Metabolic waste tu contohnya carbon dioxide which kita kena keluarkan dia daripada body. Okay, metabolic waste is poisonous kalau they are accumulated in the cell. So that's why there is thing need to be moved into the cell and they are thing need to be secreted out from the cell. So this process is controlled by the plasma membrane ataupun the cell membrane. Okay, this is the structure inside your textbook. Okay, each of this you kena tahu label, kena boleh tulis dia punya label diagram. That's why I bagi you handouts yang ada gambar ajar tadi tu, this one, kan? Supaya you boleh label satu persatu. So kita label sama-sama. Alright. First of all, the plasma membrane consists of channel protein. Okay, channel protein, you can see there is ruang kat tengah ni, bulat. This is cross section tau, dia dah cut into two. So in the middle, there is satu ruang, rongga. Okay, yang kita panggil, because of that, kita panggil dia channel protein. Sebab dia ada channel in between them. And then there is glycolipid. And then there is glycoprotein. Apa beza glycolipid dengan glycoprotein? This one, yang korang nampak warna ni, this one, tu semuanya adalah protein. Bila protein tu bersambung dengan glycogen di atas, maka dia dipanggil sebagai glycoprotein. Okay, kalau dia tak ada melekat dengan protein, dia melekat dengan this is phospholipid bilayer. Phospholipid bilayer, maka kita tahu kat sini dia ada lipid tau. That's why this glyco attached to the lipid, then nama dia glycolipid. Dapat tak? Simple je.
Dapat.
Kalau dia attached to protein, we call it glycoprotein. Kalau dia attached to lipid, kita panggil dia glycolipids. Okay, how about this one? What do you think is this one? Glycoprotein ke glycolipid? This.
Glycolipid.
Pandai. This also can be labeled as glycolipid sebab kita nampak dia attached terus kepada the phospholipid bilayer kan, without dia attached to the protein. Okay, next kita nak tengok carrier protein. Okay, carrier protein yang ni tau, this one. Carrier protein ni dia tak ada rongga macam ni. Kalau ada rongga, kita panggil dia channel protein. This one macam tak ada apa-apa ruang kat tengah dia, kita panggil dia carrier protein. But actually, they have specific structure. But kita akan tengok later macam mana spesifiknya structure of the carrier protein ni. Okay. Next kita nak tengok kolesterol. Yang warna macam orange ni duduk kat celah-celah ni kita panggil dia kolesterol. Kolesterol ni dia akan menguatkan and give elasticity to this cell membrane. Right? And this is phospholipid bilayer. Kalau dia satu je macam this one kita panggil dia phospholipid. Tapi if dia duduk macam ni, ketul kat atas, ketul kat bawah, then kita panggil dia phospholipid bilayer. Okay? One layer facing outside of the cell, another layer facing inside of the cell, which is the cytoplasm. Right? Okay. Those yang teacher warnakan baru ni kan, warna biru purple tu, yang perkara wajib kena boleh label pada your cell membrane. Wajib boleh label. Okay. There is syarat juga you must able to draw this structure sebenarnya. Tapi yang tu more on SPM lah. Kalau IGCSE dia I tak pernah jumpa, dia minta kita lukis. Tapi dia minta kita label, yes. Okay. Next, kita nak tengok in detail the phospholipid bilayer, this one. It consists of head. Head ni adalah dia panggil sebagai polar head, which is hydrophilic. Okay, hydrophilic bermaksud suka water. Hydrophilic, philic tu cinta, suka, attracted. Dia suka water. That's why most of bahan yang dissolve dalam water, dia boleh pass through this phospholipid bilayer. Okay. While dia punya tail, kita panggil dia non-polar tail, which is hydrophobic. Tak suka water atau repel water. Okay. Kenapa dia repel water? Sebab they come from this lipid group. Yang ni adalah lipid group. Lipid macam oil, you letak mix dengan water, dia takkan mix well kan? So dia memang repel water. So you kena tahu the tail is lipid. They do not like water. They hydrophobic towards water. Okay. This is the structure yang sebenar-benarnya lah, chemical structure of the phospholipid. Okay, this is the head. Head apa tadi?
Polar.
Polar head. Hydrophilic head. Okay, yang bawah hydrophobic tail. Okay, dalam chemistry, later korang akan belajar chemistry. Bila dia bagi structure macam ni, tek. Okay, sound effect tu penting. Okay, bila dia buat gambar zigzag tu, dia menunjukkan each of zigzag is carbon. Here got carbon, here got carbon, and carbon. Okay, ni lah ni. Ni ya, carbon. Panjang tau carbon ni. Maksud tu fatty acid ni, fat ni kita panggil dia hydrocarbon yang panjang. Okay, because of dia adalah lipid, maka dia hydrophobic. Tak suka air. Hydrophobic tail. Bahagian atas kepala tu hydrophobic head. Okay, clear? Boleh ya? Okay, because of that, later kita akan nampak most substances that is dissolve, lipid soluble substances, dia boleh pass through this structure, this phospholipid bilayer structure. Okay, kenapa kita kena belajar ni? Sebab setiap bahagian pada membrane ni ada bahan yang boleh masuk. Nanti kita akan belajar benda orang ni sifat dia semi-permeable tau. Semi-permeable tu bermaksud dia hanya allow certain molecule sahaja boleh pass through the cell membrane. Okay, dapat tak? So apa bahan yang boleh pass through the membrane? Kita kena tengok satu persatu komponen inside the membrane. Tadi kita dah tengok phospholipid bilayer, sifat yang atas ni hydrophilic. Sifat yang eco ni hydrophobic. Okay. Komponen yang kedua is the channel protein. Okay, channel protein ada rongga kat tengah, so dia allow mostly small molecule to pass through them. Small molecule and ions to pass through them. Okay. The third one is the carrier protein. Kalau carrier protein, they have specific site and can only bind to a specific molecule. For example, glucose molecule can only bind to the specific site of a glucose carrier protein site. Okay. Tadi kita nampak gambar rajah carrier protein ni macam tak ada rongga pun kat tengah kan? Ingat tak tadi gambar yang dia macam ni je untuk buat carrier protein kan? Now they show carrier protein ni actually they have specific binding site. This is called the specific binding site. Sebenarnya binding site tu dia tak bolehlah bentuk macam ni. Dia kena lukis gambar. Dia ada bentuk, let's say bentuk ni macam tiga segi kan? Macam tu. I rasa the best is dia buat gambar macam ni. Okay, bila dia macam ni, so this tiga segi boleh fit in over here. Boleh fit in over here. Once a molecule bind to the binding site, dia auto akan cause the carrier protein to change in structure. Changing in structure will cause the molecule ni can be transferred in. Clear not? Later kita akan belajar molekul-molekul ni dia ada specific structure tau. Kalau glucose bentuk dia hexagon like this. So you bayangkan pada carrier protein, diorang akan ada structure yang allowing the glucose untuk fit in. Let's say dia bentuk macam ni. Pada this. So nanti ada glucose boleh bind. Nampak tak? Boleh bayang tak yang Cik lukis tu? This one I lukis dekat sini. So should be dekat sini akan ada structure binding site. So this is going to be the binding site for the glucose. So bila glucose fit into the binding site, auto the carrier protein akan change structure. Dia change structure tu, dia open kat tengah ni. Open, allowing this untuk pass through. Okay. So that is sifat-sifat carrier protein. Clear? Alright. This is another, guys, are you here?
Yes.
Yes.
Risau I sebab I tak boleh tengok another screen. Takut I tak ada. Takut I terkeluar from the class. Okay guys. This is another summary of how the channel protein look like and how the carrier protein look like. This one I prefer lah because the shape, the binding shape is complement with the molecule yang they help to pass through the cell membrane. As you can see over here, that is certain molecule can pass through the channel. Certain molecule must pass through the carrier protein. Bukan semua benda boleh pass through kat sini. It depends on size dia, it depends on polarity, it depends on solubility diorang. Okay. So next kita nak tengok dekat dalam kita punya plasma membrane. Tadi dah ada 3 structure kan. Kita dah belajar phospholipid, lepas tu kita dah tengok pore protein dengan channel protein. The fourth one is the cholesterol. So cholesterol molecule can be found between the phospholipid molecule. Tu dia yang warna kuning-kuning tu. Okay, this cholesterol make the phospholipid bilayer stronger, more flexible and less permeable to water-soluble substances such as ions. Okay, bila ada kolesterol, this become more flexible. Dia lagi boleh meregang. Kalau dia mengecut pun dia tak akan bend terus. So kolesterol ni macam kat kulit kita ada ni. Kenapa ada apa kalau kulit kita tegang tu, kalau orang tua dia macam dah collagen. Kolesterol ni macam collagen lah. Collagen tu menyebabkan sel membrane ni jadi elastic, flexible, tidak berkedut-kedut. Macam tu. Okay, and it makes water soluble ions tak boleh pass through here. Kalau ions dia kena go through the channel protein. Macam tu. Okay, the phospholipid bilayer protein and cholesterol are not static, but form a dynamic and flexible structure. These contribute to the fluid characteristic of the plasma membrane and makes the plasma membrane more flexible. Korang boleh bayang tak? This channel protein. Dia tak stay situ je tau. Dia boleh move. Dia boleh gerak. Boleh gerak kat situ. Lepas tu this one also boleh gerak duduk kat sini. This one also can gerak pergi kat situ. Boleh bayang tak? And diorang ni akan duduk dalam orbit diorang sendiri. Orbit bermaksud kalau this is the cell membrane, this is nucleus, you akan nampak structure ni semua duduk kat situ je, duduk kat sini. Kalau ni phospholipid bilayer punya kepala, macam itulah dia. Dia tak akan terpindah pergi sini. Tak. No. Okay. That is what the means by fluid mosaic structure. Mana perkataan dia? Contribute to fluid characteristic. Fluid mosaic structure of the plasma membrane, cell membrane. Okay. Some protein and lipid have carbohydrate chain. Okay. And attached tadi dah kita cerita pasal kolesterol kan, nombor 4. So nombor 5 adalah glycolipid dengan glycoprotein. Glycolipid dengan glycoprotein. Okay. Some protein and lipids have carbohydrate chain attached to them. Glyco tu adalah carbohydrate. It's known as glycoprotein and glycolipid respectively. Glycoprotein and glycolipid act as receptors to hormones such as insulin. And it also stabilizes the membrane by forming hydrogen bond with water and act as antigen for cell identification. Korang ingat tak? Korang darah jenis apa? Blood, red blood cell. Kalau saya, I am blood O positive. What is yours? Kalau orang tu, ada tak kat sini A positive? Orang yang blood type A positive, dia punya red blood cell dia, okay, ni red blood cell, ada antigen A. Ting-ding. Dia ada, Allah. Dia ada antigen A pada permukaan red blood cell dia, macam gitu. Kalau orang darah B plus, dia ada antigen B dekat permukaan darah dia. B. Tenenet. Macam gitu. So that's why dia kata glycoprotein atau glycolipid ni also act as antigen for cell identification. Okay. So this merujuk kepada the glycoprotein atau the glycolipids. Inilah this one. Ni, okay. Ni semuanya antigen tau. So, some of them act as receptor. Receptor untuk bind dengan hormones. Hormones ni, apa contoh hormones yang korang tahu? Form 3 dah kan? Korang dah belajar sexual reproduction kan? Korang tahu tak hormon testosteron?
Oh,
Siapa produce testosteron?
lelaki.
What organ release testosterone?
Testis.
Very good. Testicle release testosterone. And then, apa testosterone ni buat dekat you? What change have you experience after you hit puberty, boys?
Body hair.
Kan ada body hair, ada change in your voice kan? And then your chest become bigger, and then your muscle become bulky, betul tak?
Yes.
How the hormone is secreted by the testicles, tapi macam mana tempat-tempat yang lain tu boleh berubah? Padahal yang release the testosterone adalah the testicle. Because bila testicle release the testosterone goes into the blood circulatory system. Dia travel together with the blood. And then bila dia sampai dekat muscle tu ada receptor macam ni. And that receptor allowing hormone testosterone tu untuk melekat kat situ. Bila dia melekat dekat sini, the cell is triggered. Kalau dia adalah cell muscle, they are triggered to divide themselves repeatedly, producing more muscle. Do you get it?
Yes.
Do you understand how apa yang I cakap kat sini? Receptor to hormones. Hormones ni ada banyak tau in our body. Okay, ada insulin, ada testosterone, ada progesterone, ada estrogen. So, ni glycoprotein, glycolipid, some of them becoming the receptor to bind with hormones. That's why hormones tu producing by certain parts of our organ, tapi dia hormone tu travel dalam seluruh badan through the blood circulatory system, and dia akan melekat dengan target organ dia. That target organ must have receptor to bind with the hormones. Siapa receptor tu? Receptor tu boleh jadi glycolipid, boleh jadi glycoprotein. Clear? Okay, next.
Yeah.
Right. This is the summary. Okay, summary untuk setiap komponen inside the membrane tadi tu. Plasma membrane ataupun cell membrane. Okay. Di situ, sini. Okay. So, tadi kita dah tengok komponen kolesterol. It make the phospholipid bilayer stronger, more flexible and less permeable to water-soluble substances. Channel protein molecule with channel or canal that transport huge molecules such as glucose and water. While carrier protein transport charged molecule. Kat sini ada salah sikit ni. This one dia tak masuk ikut channel protein tau. Dia masuk ikut carrier protein. Terbalik. Terbalik, salah sikit. Okay. Then glycoprotein acts as receptor for hormones. Glycolipid act as antigen for cell identification. Contohnya blood group A+. So orang tu darah A, dia ada antigen A kat permukaan darah merah dia. Kalau orang tu B+, dia ada antigen B kat atas permukaan darah dia. Antigen ni apa? Dia adalah glycolipid. Clear? Glycoprotein untuk receptor for the hormones. Okay, fluid mosaic model tadi I explain dah. According to the fluid mosaic model, protein molecule float within the phospholipid bilayer, forming a mosaic pattern that changes frequently. Okay, protein molecule tu tak kisahlah dia carrier protein ke, channel protein ke, dia boleh berenang-renang kat celah-celah the phospholipid bilayer. This also boleh bergerak-gerak kat celah-celah ni. Tapi dia duduk dekat dia punya orbit dia sendiri, tak keluar daripada tempat asal dia. Okay, the fluid component refer to the phospholipid bilayer of the plasma membrane, while the mosaic component refer to the protein content in the plasma membrane. Okay guys, nanti slide ni remind teacher untuk share dengan you tau. Sebenarnya dalam buku teks tu lengkap je, ada je. Okay, clear 3.1. Component inside the cell membrane. Dalam IG tak ada tahu benda ni. The plasma membrane. Tapi dalam SPM, in order you nak understand topic 3 ni, you must understand first structure of the cell membrane. Then baru kita boleh go deeper. Okay. Characteristic of substances pula. Tadi characteristic of the plasma membrane or cell membrane. Now, characteristic of the substances that are able to move across the plasma membrane. Okay, characteristic of the molecule biasanya adalah molekul yang size dia kecil. They must be polar molecule and ionic charge. Polar or non-polar. Kita ada polar molecule, kita ada non-polar molecule. Molecule size ada yang very small, ada yang small and ada yang large. Small and extra small boleh lalu. Tapi kalau large molecule biasanya tak boleh pass through the cell membrane. Okay, dalam buku teks kita ada conclusion like this. The substances is divided into two groups. Satu, lipid soluble substances. Second, lipid insoluble substances. Maksudnya apa? This one dissolve dalam lipid. This one tak dissolve. Boleh? Satu dissolve, satu tak dissolve in lipid. Molekul yang boleh dissolve dalam lipid adalah non-polar molecule. Fatty acid, glycerol, fat-soluble vitamin that is ADEK and also steroid compound. So, 4 contoh ni merupakan non-polar molecule and they are lipid-soluble substances. So, semua ni diorang boleh pass through our cell membrane through where?
Lipid.
Yes, phospholipid bilayer. Okay, so lipid soluble substances, because of the phospholipid bilayer, diorang ada layers of lipid, maka they allow lipid soluble substances to pass through them. Tak kisahlah size dia macam mana, dia boleh dissolve. But biasanya molekul-molekul yang disenaraikan example yang 4 ni, molekul dia kecil. So diorang memang boleh easily dissolve into the cell membrane through the phospholipid bilayer. Right. While lipid insoluble substances atau boleh juga kita label dia sebagai water soluble substances can be divided into two, that is small molecule and ions. Okay, small molecule and ions, example water. And then non-polar molecules such as oxygen dengan carbon dioxide boleh pass through the cell membrane. Okay. Kalau K+, Na+, Ca2+, Mg2+, yang ni kena go through channel protein. Yang ni channel, sekejap. Yang ni akan go through channel protein. Okay. Yang atas ni dia boleh go through phospholipid bilayer. Okay. While large molecule such as glucose and amino acid, they pass through cell membrane through, cuba teka. Komponen apa kita tak sebut lagi? Carrier protein. Okay. Dapat. If you have the books, korang boleh letak nota macam ni dekat your books. Right? Next. Dia bagi dah gambar rajah tadi. Dia bagi satu apa ni, rajah kan? Gambar rajah. Sorry, dia panggil apa? Carta alir. Kalau this one is the diagram to show to you that small non-polar molecules such as water, okay, gases, they boleh pass through the cell membrane through the phospholipid bilayer. Kalau channel protein, small molecule dengan ions. Kalau lipid soluble molecule, contoh lipid soluble molecule apa dia? Vitamin A, D, E, K. Lagi? Apa lagi? Baru belajar tadi.
Glycerol.
Glycerol. Lagi?
Fatty acid.
Fatty acid. Pandai. They can pass through the phospholipid bilayer also. Okay. Kalau large molecule, contoh? Glucose, amino acid. So they pass through the carrier protein. Alright, now kita dah tahu dah fungsi each component of cell membrane and what substances can pass through them. Now kita nak tengok the process. Dapat tak? Pertama kita belajar characteristic and function each of the component in the cell membrane. Yang kedua, kita belajar characteristic of substances and kat mana dia pass through the cell membrane. Yang ketiga, kita nak tengok proses molekul-molekul ni pass through the cell membrane. Okay. The substances across the plasma membrane ada dua proses. Alamak, teacher tak tulis dia dengan ni lah. Dia ada dua proses, that is passive transport dengan active transport. Dua major proses. Passive transport and also active transport. Apa beza passive dengan active? Kalau passive, they need no energy. There's no energy needed. Kalau ni energy, yes. Macam mana kita nak bagi dia cantik nota ni? Okay, tulis kat tengah. Energy. Energy. This one, no. Sorry. This one, yes. Sorry. Okay. This one needed energy. This one tak perlu energy. Kalau passive transport, movement of substances. Yang ni daripada high kepada low. Kalau active transport, daripada low kepada high. Pergerakan bahan daripada tempat yang sikit ke tempat yang banyak untuk active transport. Passive transport daripada tempat banyak ke tempat sikit. Nanti kita go detail satu persatu. So this is the basic for you to understand beza antara passive transport dengan active transport. Boleh? Next, passive transport ni ada 3 type. Okay, dia tak perlu energy, pergerakan dia from high concentration to low concentration, and the process, there is 3 process. The first one is simple diffusion. Simple diffusion is for small molecule. Second is facilitated diffusion. Facilitated diffusion for big molecules such as glucose and amino acid. And then osmosis. This osmosis focus on movement of water through the cell membrane. Okay, dapat So now kita nak tengok the first passive transport, that is simple diffusion. Okay, passive transport, the analogy of passive transport is like riding a bicycle downhill. Turun bukit. Turun bukit kena cycle tak? Kena pedal tak? No need you just control your brake je kan? Tak perlu energy, just control the brakes. The process does not involve the use of energy. Okay, and the movement of molecule is from high to low concentration. Ini adalah kriteria utama for passive transport. Okay. Alright. Example dia, simple diffusion, osmosis and facilitated diffusion. That is passive transport. Now kita tengok detail satu persatu for the passive transport. Ingat now we are learning the process of molecule untuk pass through the cell membrane. The first one is simple diffusion. This is the movement of molecule or ions from an area of high concentration to an area of low concentration. As you can see from this structure, here got many molecule. Here got sikit molecule. So movement dia daripada high concentration to low concentration. Okay, the moving molecule are said to move down the concentration gradient until a dynamic equilibrium is achieved. What is meant by dynamic equilibrium? Anyone?
Persamaan.
Yes, sir. Bila 1, 2, 3, 4 ketol warna merah. 1, 2, 2 je. Bila satu lagi dah turun bawah, here got 3, here got 3, then that is dynamic equilibrium for carbon dioxide. Clear not? Macam ni. Fatty acid ada 1, 2, 3, 4. Kat sini ada 2 only. So when another one go down, now equilibrium pun achieve. Like that. Okay? Right. This may occur with or without the presence of plasma membrane. Okay, contoh kalau I spray perfume, your friends spray perfume dekat hujung kelas, tiba-tiba kat depan kelas boleh tak bau the perfume? You might smell the perfume from far away, bukanlah far away, dalam kelas boleh lah kan, boleh bau lah kan. Contoh, kadang-kadang you in the class, lepas tu you boleh bau ayam goreng from the cafe. Pernah tak you experience that?
Pernah.
Because the cafe got many molecule of bau ayam, so it travel to other area yang tak ada bau ayam. So from high concentration dekat cafe, it's move around, pergi tempat yang tak banyak. So that is simple diffusion. It can happen without the cell membrane. Kalau ada cell membrane, boleh tak simple diffusion happen? Yes, also can. Most of simple diffusion will occur through phospholipid bilayer je. Okay, bila dia melalui phospholipid bilayer, molekul yang boleh buat simple diffusion ni, you akan nampak contoh dia adalah lipid soluble substances. Oxygen and carbon dioxide. Water. Tapi water dia ada special nama proses dia bergerak melalui cell membrane. Nama dia apa?
Osmosis.
Osmosis. Pandai. Okay, next is facilitated diffusion. Kalau facilitated diffusion, it must go through the carrier protein and this is large molecule. Because dia tak boleh through the channel protein dengan phospholipid bilayer, so diorang akan go through the carrier protein. As we understand, carrier protein has specific binding site. Walaupun molekul itu besar, tapi bila dia boleh bind dengan binding site yang ada pada carrier protein, once dia melekat je dengan carrier protein akan change shape. Changing of the shape, allowing the molecule to pass through the cell membrane into the cell. Okay. This process is known as facilitated diffusion because it is facilitated by the carrier protein. Okay. This process also tak perlukan energy because dia memang passive. Passive dia tak perlukan energy. Carrier protein transport the molecule down the concentration gradient because they able to bind with the glucose. Bila dia boleh bind dengan glucose, that initiate the changing shape of the carrier protein, allowing the glucose to go into the cell. Okay, this process also continue until a dynamic equilibrium happen. So, kalau kat sini, dia punya dynamic equilibrium dia bersamaan dengan berapa ketul kat luar, berapa ketul kat dalam. Macam tak sama kan? Mana pula? Samalah. Kena ada berapa? Ada?
3.
4 inside. Ni satu masuk dalam, satu lagi. So 4 outside, 4 inside. Then achieve the equilibrium. Okay. Alright, next kita nak tengok ni facilitated diffusion through carrier protein yang ada dalam buku teks korang tau. Okay, dia bagi contoh kat sini glucose. This is the first one. The first step. Macam mana facilitated diffusion happen? The first step, extracellular glucose concentration are higher than in the cytoplasm. Ni proses dia. Macam mana proses tu boleh berlaku? It happen because of glucose in the extracellular is more compared inside the cell. Bila kat luar more, kat dalam low, here high concentration of glucose, here low concentration of glucose. This will trigger the movement of glucose into the cell by facilitated diffusion. Because of different concentrations, so there is glucose that bind with the carrier protein. When it bind with the carrier protein, so carrier protein change its shape, allowing the glucose to go through here. Okay, ni dia cerita dia. Carrier protein change shape, allowing the glucose molecule to pass through the carrier protein and enter the cell. Okay, once the carrier protein dah pass down the glucose, carrier protein return to their original shape and are ready to transport other molecule, which is the glucose also. Okay, so specific carrier protein, dia akan transport specific molecule because each of them have their own binding site. Kalau binding site tu sesuai for glucose, glucose je dia akan bawa masuk. Okay, kalau dia punya binding site tu untuk amino acid, dan dia akan carry amino acid sahaja. So you bayangkan berapa banyak jenis carrier protein yang ada dekat setiap sel kita. Hebat kan? Dahsyat betul sel kita ni. Okay, last one for the passive transport is osmosis. Okay, so osmosis is a passive transport process involved only water molecule. And osmosis refer to the movement of water molecule from area of high water potential to an area of low water potential through a selective permeable membrane. Wajib ada from high water potential to low water potential. Wajib ada through selective permeable membrane. Okay, pergerakan apa? Pergerakan water molecule. As you can see over here, this is water molecule warna merah. The purple is sucrose molecule. So this is the permeable membrane. Selectively permeable membrane. Selectively permeable membrane. It could be dialysing tubing, dialysis tubing. Okay. So, as you can see over here, yang mana satu water potential high? Merujuk kepada gambar rajah ni. Yang mana satu water potential is high? A ke B? This is A, this is B. Which one has high water potential?
B.
High water potential. High
A.
water potential bermaksud banyak air. So, label lah macam ni. Setiap kali korang jumpa soalan-soalan yang melibatkan osmosis, it is very important for you to able to label which area has high water potential, which area has low water potential. So, over here, water potential is high. Banyak water. The other area has low water potential. Macam gitu. Korang kena tulis nota macam ni. Lepas tu, because of that, maka water diffuse from high water potential to low water potential like that. Clear not?
Clear.
Alright. Now, this process akan berlaku sampailah, you tengok 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, 10. Lebih kurang sama. Sini ada 11 biji air, sini ada 10 biji air. Lebih kurang sama. Bila lebih kurang sama, maka dia achieve equilibrium. Jadilah macam tu. Walaupun yang ni dia punya level of water lebih higher, yang ni lower, tapi dia punya concentration are same. Concentration of what? Concentration of the water molecule. In A dengan B lebih kurang sama. Okay. Biasanya solution yang has more solute. Okay, B has more solute kan. Kalau dia ada banyak bahan terlarut kat dalam dia, auto water potential dia akan jadi drop. Berbanding solution yang tak ada bahan terlarut. Always have higher water potential. Okay. Pening ke? Banyak ke yang teacher explain ni? Are you guys okay? Boleh?
Okay.
Okay. Next. This is an example of experiment do in our lab. Okay, sebenarnya eksperimen topik ni ada eksperimen tau. Korang balik maktab nanti, korang kena make sure your teacher buat eksperimen ni dengan korang. Eksperimen ni masuk SPMRSM 2023. So, bukan main-main punya topik Topik 3 ni memang banyak keluar soalan dia. SPM banyak, IG pun banyak. Nanti kita dah discuss yang ni, I akan show you contoh-contoh paper 4 yang keluar untuk topik osmosis. Osmosis lah paling banyak. Okay. So as you can see, konsep sama yang ni. This one ada. Yang mana satu adalah water. Warna biru, water molecule. Warna merah, sucrose molecule. Which part has more water molecule? This area. This area less water molecule. So water molecule diffuse into the parts that has low water potential. So water move there from high water potential area to low water potential area. Passing the level of water over here is higher compared to the, katalah I bagi ni A, yang ni B. So level of water in B will be higher than A because more water diffuse into B compared to A. Dapat? That is osmosis. Syarat osmosis ni, dia mesti kena ada semi-permeable membrane tau. Cell membrane kena ada. If there is no semi-permeable membrane, then dia tak dipanggil sebagai osmosis. Contoh, I bagi you. Kalau I ada satu kentang, potatoes. And then potatoes tu I boil. Lepas I boil, I rendam di dalam water. Adakah water masuk dekat dalam potatoes tu secara osmosis? Does the water goes into the potatoes by osmosis? Jawapan dia? No. Because potato tu dah kena boil. Bila potato dah kena boil, dia punya cell membrane dah rosak. Bila rosak, movement of water through that potatoes is not called as osmosis anymore. Then nak panggil apa?
Boiling.
Diffusion sahaja. Diffusion macam tadilah, simple diffusion. Okay, done. Untuk passive. Now kita nak tengok active transport. Okay, active transport compared to passive transport, the movement of molecule or ion substances across a plasma membrane, tetapi they are against a concentration gradient. So dia bergerak from low to high. Okay, bergerak daripada tempat sikit ke tempat yang banyak. It require energy from ATP. ATP tu apa? ATP is adenosine triphosphate. Perlukan energi, tenaga. Dapat daripada mana tenaga ni? Through cellular respiration. Okay. It requires specific carrier protein with specific site to bind with certain molecule or ion. Sekali lagi, they use carrier protein as I explained previous. Carrier protein memang ada specific binding site. So, hanya specific structure yang ada binding site dengan the carrier protein je boleh pass through the cell membrane. Kalau molekul tu tak ada structure yang sesuai untuk dia melekat, then dia tak akan dapat dibawa masuk either active transport ataupun facilitated diffusion. Okay, carrier protein also possess receptors to bind with ATP molecule. The carrier protein change shape when a phosphate group attached to it. Okay, as a result, molecule or ions move across a membrane. Okay, dia sama macam cerita dia, flow dia macam facilitated diffusion. Tapi movement dia adalah from low to high. Ada carrier protein. Okay, tapi tambah dengan ATP. Okay. Bila kat sini low, katalah molekul tu low, bentuk dia macam ni. Dia ada binding site dia, lepas tu dia pun melekat. Dia melekat dekat carrier protein. Carrier protein ni kena ada ATP first. Barulah carrier protein ni berubah bentuk and allow this to go up. Okay, katalah warna purple tu kat sini dah ada banyak dah. Kat sini ada sikit je. Tapi nak juga yang warna purple ni sebab cantik. So, the purple thing akan bind dengan carrier protein sebab carrier protein tu ada binding site untuk dia. So, bila dia bind, ada ATP datang help, barulah ATP ni cause carrier protein tu berubah bentuk. Perubahan bentuk carrier protein allowing the molecule to pass through them and go pergi dekat tempat yang high ni. Okay, clear?
Yeah.
Active transport result in accumulation or excretion of molecule or ions in the cell. Kalau sel tu dia suka sangat certain bahan, so dia akan ambil bahan tu simpan dekat dalam sel. Contoh, kita punya sel suka glukos. Kat dalam ni dah banyak dah glukos. Tapi sebab dia love glucose so much. Sebab glucose bagi dia energy. So they keep on pump it into. Through apa? Through carrier protein. Salah. Bukan dekat sini dia masuk. Dia masuk ke mana? Dia masuk ikut sini. Carrier protein tau. Yang ni channel. Okay. Carrier protein. Okay. So that cause accumulation. Tapi sel kita tak suka drugs. Certain drug, bila kita makan ubat kan, dia masuk dalam badan kita. Tapi badan kita tak suka sebenarnya drug ni. So, drug dah banyak dah kat luar. Kat dalam sel dia sikit-sikit je. Tapi dia tak suka drug. Tak suka. So, dia akan keluarkan drugs tu. That is excretion. Excretion of the drugs out from the cell. Macam gitu. Okay. Boleh? Carrier protein that involve in active transport are always known as pump. Pump kan kena pump basikal. Kena perlukan energy kan nak pump basikal kan. Pump. Macam itulah. So kena ada energy. So that's why kita selalu panggil dia pump. Okay. So for example, in animal cell, the carrier protein that transports sodium ion to extracellular and potassium ion into the cell are called sodium-potassium pump. Carrier protein yang sama, dia boleh pump out sodium, pump in potassium. Contoh dia macam gini. Ni dalam buku teks tau. Gambar ni daripada buku teks je. I nak you biasa dengan buku teks sebenarnya. You nampak je, I know this is where, I know this is page berapa. That pertanda yang you dah okay. Sangat ingatlah. Okay. Alright. So dalam gambar rajah ni dia bagi yang atas tu sodium. Okay, sodium ion bind to the carrier protein. Daripada dalam cytoplasm, kita nak buang dia keluar. That is excretion of sodium ions. Okay. So, kenapa I kata dia keluar? Ni nampak ni, keluar kan? Okay. Na sikit je kat dalam. Kat luar dah ada 3 dah. Tapi dia tak suka sodium banyak-banyak dalam sel. So, dia hantar sodium ni keluar daripada sel. That is excretion. Okay, proses dia apa? Active transport. Okay, so dia punya cara dia nak buang tu, dia tukar ATP ni, dia release satu phosphate. Bila dia break satu phosphate, phosphate tu melekat dekat this molecule. Molecule ni dapat energy dan dia change shape, allowing the sodium ion to be pumped out. Nampak dia di pump out. And as you can see, ni binding site. This also binding site. Specialnya carrier protein ni, dia ada 2 jenis binding site. Bila dia dah pump out the sodium ion, now dia teropen kan. So, potassium ion pula boleh masuk kat binding site tu. So, dia melekat dekat binding site and they will be pumped in. Nampak tak? Ada seketul je kot yang tinggal kat luar. Kat dalam dah banyak dah. Tapi dia suka potassium. So, bawa masuk lagi potassium. Result, accumulation of potassium inside the cell. Result, excretion of the sodium ion out of the cells. That is active transport. Okay? Are you guys okay? We have another one. Active transport example in our textbook. This is, dia panggil sebagai proton pump. Proton pump ni dekat dalam kita punya stomach. Stomach ni Alright. For example, the proton pump that are found on the epithelial cell lining of the stomach cavity. The proton pump cause the acidity of the stomach content. Jadi hydrochloric acid tu. Energy from the ATP enable the hydrogen ion to be transported by the carrier protein towards the extracellular enzyme, dibawa keluar. Bila ada banyak H+ dalam kita punya stomach, that give the acidity inside the stomach. This cause an accumulation of the hydrogen ion and acid production in the stomach cavity. Kenapa stomach nak kena ada acid yang banyak? Supaya
Kill bacteria.
kill bakteria pandai. Lagi satu supaya
Production of protease.
Protease can work. Protease can break down protein into polypeptide. Okay. Protease ni needed environment yang acidic. Kalau dia tak acidic, protease tak boleh bekerja. Kalau protease tak boleh bekerja, protein cannot digested into polypeptide. Then you akan undergo indigestion of protein. Okay, indigestion is not good at all. It will cause you to feel bad. Okay. So that is another, nama dia apa? Proton pump. Tadi apa? Sodium, potassium pump. Yang ni proton pump. Okay, kalau sodium, potassium tu dia penting sebab those are electrolyte in our nervous system. Electrolyte very important untuk allowing electrical impulse being transmitted dengan laju. Kalau tak cukup electrolyte, kita sudah macam lemah, kita nak react pun lambat because kita punya penghantaran impuls jadi slow. Okay. Alright, so this one for the digestion lah. Now kita nak tengok, Alhamdulillah, teacher dah cover 3.1, 3.2. Memang dia banyak explain tau yang ni. Korang kena tulis nota and macam biasa, bila nak tulis nota, gunalah soalan-soalan. Study guna soalan tu good. Okay, but this one, teacher tak sempat nak buatkan nota kat korang satu persatu. Sekejap I tengok. I bagi soalan je tapi I tak sempat nak tambah nota. So korang, handout yang teacher bagi tu, korang cuba tulis nota korang tau. First, daripada gambar rajah yang mana dia? Tadi dah buka. Sain. Not this one. I am looking for handouts 3.1. Yes. Okay. So notes ni, this one I nak you label. This one you label, okay? Yeah. Label each. Okay, dah label, lepas tu nak buat apa? Apa nota tadi dia bagi? You give the name, you give the structure, you give the function. Boleh? Boleh buat this. So this one nama dia apa? Contoh nama dia apa? This, nama dia apa?
Channel protein.
Yes, very good. Channel protein. Structure dia apa? They have channel or hole in between of the protein. Function dia allow small molecule and ion to pass through them. Betul?
Betul.
Pandai. Okay. So kalau dia bersambung dengan this, dengan the cell membrane, nama dia apa?
Glycolipid.
Pandai. Nama dia glycolipid. Structure dia apa? Carbohydrate that bind with the lipid. Function dia apa?
Antigen for cell.
Antigen ke reseptor kalau glycolipid?
Receptor.
Receptor. Receptor to bind with hormone.
Hormone.
Receptor bind with hormone. Benda ni lah korang kena buat nota. Boleh tak?
Boleh.
How about this one? Ni apa? Kolesterol. Nama dia kolesterol. Bagi dia punya structure dia, bagi dia punya function dia. Okay, you try do this. Jangan bertangguh. Cik dah bagi handouts. Cuba buat nota. Penuh Try. Next, kita sama-sama jawab soalan ni. Which molecule crosses a partially permeable membrane during osmosis? Kalau osmosis mesti
Water.
Water.
pandai. Water. So, cuba korang tulis nota tentang osmosis. Osmosis. Dia punya kriteria pertama. Movement of
Water molecules.
molecule. Nombor 2. From high
High
water
water potential
to
to low water
low
potential.
water potential. Very good. Nombor 3. Until
Dynamic equilibrium is achieved.
equilibrium is achieved. Number 4. Mass through cell
Membrane.
membrane. Kalau tak ada cell membrane, boleh tak panggil dia osmosis?
No.
Tak
If you-
boleh. Okay, nombor 5. Need energy or not?
Yes.
No.
No.
No need of ATP. Dah siap buat nota macam ni? Dah buat nota, baru kita jawab. Okay. Carbon dioxide, dia akan pass through apa? Carbon dioxide, dia melalui apa? Channel
Channel
protein.
protein.
Proses dia apa? Simple
Diffusion.
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 Okay. Kalau oksigen, sama. Dia akan lalu channel protein, proses dia dipanggil simple diffusion. Kalau urea,
Excretion.
proses dia excretion. Excretion ni guna apa? Active?
Active transport.
Yes, active transport. Kalau active transport kena pakai apa protein? Carrier
Protein.
Protein.
protein. Kalau water,
Osmosis.
Osmosis.
osmosis. Pakai
Cell membrane.
through apa? Through
Cell membrane.
phospholipid bilayer. Tempat
Bilayer.
dia lalu adalah phospholipid bilayer. Okey, soalan tu nampak simple tapi boleh tak kita tulis nota yang bagus? Yes,
Boleh.
boleh. Korang tahu tak benda ni akan allow you untuk answer, untuk boleh menulis jawapan dekat dalam paper 4. Ni bukan kaleng-kaleng markah dia tahu. 3-4 markah untuk osmosis. Kalau you boleh tulis nota macam ni. Okay, now. So jawapan kita D. Memang senang. Soalan ni senang. Tapi make full use of it. Okay. Buat practice untuk cuba menulis nota yang bagus. Nota yang bagi you full mark untuk paper 4. Alright, next. The diagram shows the movement of glucose molecule across a cell membrane. Which statement describe molecule T? Okay. So kita nak analyse first. This is low concentration of glucose. Kat dalam high concentration of glucose. Movement from low to high. What do you think is this process?
Passive transport.
Pasif ke? Kalau bergerak dari
Excretion.
daripada tempat sikit ke tempat banyak, ini nama dia
Excretion.
excretion. Proses dia apa?
Active transport.
Active transport, yes. Active transport need energy tak? Yes.
Yes.
Ada energy. So it costs apa? Mana satu inside, mana satu outside?
Low concentration inside.
Low concentration is inside the cell. Kenapa dia nak buang gula daripada sel? Ni bukan excretion ni. Ni adalah accumulation. Betul tak?
Yes.
This is accumulation. Apa? Dia nak accumulate sebanyak mungkin glucose kat dalam because glucose is needed for respiration inside cells. Barulah dia boleh produce energy banyak untuk the next processes. Okay, so which segment describe molecule T? Molecule T is carrier protein. Okay. It is a fat molecule. Apakah salah? Dia bukan fat, dia protein. It is fat molecule again? No. It is protein? Yes, sir. Used to transport glucose down a concentration gradient. Down jadi salah. Sebab dia adalah against. So it is a protein molecule. Yes, it is against a concentration gradient. So the answer is D. Best kan soalan ni kan? Senang kan IG kan? Korang score tahu. Semua orang dapat A star, okay? Alright, next question. Oh, teachers lupa nak tengok jawapan soalan ni. Tak apa, kita tengok sama-sama. The graph shows the rate of uptake of magnesium ions by two similar plants, that is plant X dengan plant Y. Diorang ambil apa? Magnesium ions. The root of each plant were placed in a range of solution. Each solution contained a different concentration of magnesium ions. All other conditions were kept constant. Apa yang berubah-ubah? Different concentration of magnesium. Ni apa? MV. Manipulated variable. Dia buat eksperimen kan ni kan? Yang ni adalah manipulated variables. Okay. So dia ubah. Makin ke sana, makin higher concentration of magnesium. So based on that, the higher the concentration of magnesium, the higher the rate of uptake of magnesium ion. Until what? Until certain concentration of magnesium where the rate of intake of magnesium is constant. Okay, yang ni increase. Lepas tu dia constant. Okay, what is a possible explanation for the difference in the result for the two plants? Siapa yang ambil lebih banyak magnesium? Plant X ke plant Y? X lebih banyak ambil magnesium. Kenapa agak-agak X boleh ambil banyak magnesium? Kalau dia nak ambil magnesium, dengan cara apa dia ambil ni? You rasa-rasa?
The membrane.
Dia uptake tau. Dia ambil. Mestilah daripada tempat sikit ke tempat yang banyak. Dia accumulate the magnesium dekat dalam sel dia. So proses tu dia panggil proses apa?
Active transport.
Yes, active transport and cause accumulation of magnesium ions inside the cell. Okay. Next. Kenapa X ni boleh ambil lebih banyak ions? Why do you think dia boleh ambil banyak ion berbanding Y?
Banyak carrier protein.
Pandai. X mungkin ada banyak carrier protein, jadi sebab tu dia boleh ambil lebih banyak magnesium compared to Y. So tu adalah benda-benda yang kita nak fikirkan. Okay, so A, kita tengok satu-satu. A, plant Y has fewer carrier protein for magnesium ion in its cell membrane. Is it? Y
Yes.
has fewer. Mungkin. Okay. Plant Y has a higher rate of respiration.
Tak.
No.
Bukan higher, lower. Sebab nak guna active transport kena pakai energy kan. So, kalau compare Y dengan X, mestilah X yang paling banyak buat active transport. Kalau dia buat banyak active transport, mestilah higher rate kan. Y pula dia sikit, so dia bukan higher rate of respiration. Dia lower rate of respiration compared to X. Lower rate respiration bermaksud dia produce energy lebih sedikit berbanding X. Bila energy dia kurang berbanding X, maka dia boleh buat active transport tu sikit berbanding X. Dapat? Sebab energy available sikit. Plant Y has more root hair cell. No, tak nampak pun. The root hair cell in plant Y have a lower water potential. Tak ada kaitan. So the answer is A. Wah, hebatlah. Kalau cikgu tak ajar, tak bagi buat nota-nota ni, korang boleh tak pilih jawapan dia A?
Tak.
Mana boleh tak? Kenalah boleh. Now you understand dah macam mana nak analysis the question. Analyze the question to get the correct answer. Boleh tak?
Boleh.
Tajuk dia, lagi banyak latihan yang kita buat, lagi banyak jenis soalan yang kita nampak, lagi kita pandai. Betul? Okay. Practice make perfect. Okay. Practice good habits. Apa good habit? Conteng kertas soalan tu sampailah you faham apa yang dia nak sampaikan pada kertas soalan tu. When a plant is put into pure water. Nombor 1. Water by osmosis and become. Which word should be used to fill gap 1 and 2 to complete the sentence? Dia kata plant cell letak kat dalam pure water. Let's say I ada satu beaker. I letak water. Full fill of water and only water without anything else. Lepas tu I letak plant cell. Ada nucleus. Ada vacuole. Okay. What do you think happened? Dalam beaker ada water je. Water potential dia high ke low?
Hai.
Okay. Water potential high. Dalam sel tumbuhan ada sel sap. Dalam vacuole tu ada sel sap. Dalam sel sap ada minerals. So water potential dekat dalam sel sap high ke low?
Low.
Okay. Kalau dekat dalam sel water potential dia low, water pergi mana?
Masuk.
Water pergi dalam. From here, water go into the vacuole. Proses tu nama apa?
Osmosis.
Pandai. Proses dia nama osmosis. What happen to the cell kalau water masuk kat dalam vacuole? Vacuole akan
Pecah.
besar, gemuk, segar. So, produk dia adalah sel yang sama. Cik try. Alamak, tak mau semua. I nak ni je. Tengok teacher malas nak lukis. Okey lah, I lukis balik. So this is the cell. Lepas dah rendam dekat dalam pure water. Okay, lepas tu dia ada apa? Ni cell wall tau. Ni cell membrane tau. Lepas tu ada nucleus. Nucleus sama je saiz. Tapi yang berubah adalah dia punya vacuole. Vacuole dia sekarang akan besar sebab penuh dengan water. So, bila dia fulfill with water inside here, there will be pressure pushing towards the cell wall. Menyebabkan sel ni jadi turgid. Turgid tu bahasa Melayu dia segah. Okay. Turgidity of the cell will give support system to the plant cell. Sebab itulah pokok yang tak ada kayu dalam dia boleh tegak, berdiri tegak. Contoh macam pokok tulip. Bunga tulip. Bunga tulip tu kat dalam batang bunga tu tak ada kayu macam pokok rambutan. Tak ada. Dia dalam dia lembut je. Yang lembut tu kenapa dia boleh tegak dan angkat bunga tu tegak? Because of the turgidity of the cell in the stem. Okay, dapat? Clear? Alright, next. The concentration of nitrate ions is higher inside a root hair cell than in the soil. What would be required for the absorption of the nitrate ion into the root hair cell? Okay, ada satu root hair cell, bentuk dia macam ni. This is a cell. Plant cell mesti ada cell wall. Cell wall ditunjukkan bila kita lukis gambar sel, dia mesti ada 2 layer. Lepas tu dia ada nukleus, lepas tu dia ada vacuole. Okay. So this is root hair cell. Dia kata concentration of nitrate ion is higher inside the root hair cell. So nitrate ion is high. Nitrate ions is low. Dekat luar, kat soil. Higher inside the root hair cell. What would be required for absorption of nitrate ion into the root hair cell? Now, dia nak masuk ke dalam ni. So, apa yang dia perlukan? Kat luar, kat dalam ada banyak warna hijau. Banyak. Sound effect tu penting. Kat luar ada sikit je. Okay. So, what does they need untuk transfer the nitrate ion into the cell?
Carrier protein.
They need, good job. This process is called
Active transport.
absorption through active
transport.
They needed carrier protein. They need energy. Movement down ke against.
Against.
Concentration gradient. Pandailah korang. Oh, ni mesti boleh dapat A+ ni. A star. Okay dah, kita dah buat nota dah. Alright, does the cell needed mitochondria?
Yes.
Yes.
For what?
Energy.
Energy.
Does the cell needed oxygen?
Yes.
Yes.
For cellular
Respiration.
respiration. Does they need membrane protein?
Yes.
Yes, nama dia apa? Carrier
Protein.
Protein.
Does the cell needed cell wall to transport the nitrogen? Perlu tak cell wall? Perlu ke tak?
Yes.
Untuk proses ni, tak perlu. Okay? Cell wall tu dia ada. So, jaga sel tu je, tak pecah, tak apa. Tapi dalam kes ni, cell wall tu tak ada apa-apa pun function dia in process of the active transport. Okay, so jawapan kita adalah Bristol. Oh, comel nota ni. Tiba teacher. Which statement about active transport are correct? It transport particle from low concentration to high concentration?
Yes.
Yes, sir. It always transport particle into cell. Always. No. Ada masa dia transport into, ada masa dia secrete out. It involve protein molecule in the cell membrane.
Yes.
Yes.
Sure.
Carrier protein.
Yeah, pandai. It uses energy from respiration.
Yes.
So our answer is 1, 3 and 4. B. Senang ke soalan ni kan? Which process require active transport? Oxygen movement from the alveoli to the blood. Oxygen. Perlu tak active transport? Oxygen dia small. Dia small molecule tau. Kalau semua molekul kena lalu carrier protein tak?
Tak.
Tak
Diffusion.
Channel.
perlu. Tak perlu guna carrier protein, maka dia bukanlah active transport. Kan? Kalau dia small molecule, dia hanya through
Channel.
nama proses dia apa?
Diffusion.
Diffusion.
Simple
Diffusion.
diffusion. Simple diffusion bukan active transport tau. Dia tak perlu energy pun sebab dia small molecule. Dia just diffuse macam tu je. From high concentration to low concentration. Ion uptake by root hair cell from the soil.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Water movement through a plant by transpirational pool. Clear
Osmosis.
water. Water tak
Osmosis.
boleh. Water bukan active transport tau. So, bukan. Absorption of water into a lacteal in a small intestine villus.
Osmosis.
Water. No
No.
juga. Dia active transport. Satu je lah. B. Senang kan? Okay, next. This is paper 4. The movement of molecule within an organism can occur by the fusion and active transport. Complete table 1.1 by placing tick to show the correct features of each process. Movement of particle always occurs across a cell membrane. Always occurs. Active transport ke
Diffusion.
Diffusion.
diffusion? Movement of molecule during gas exchange.
Diffusion.
Rate of movement of particles higher when the concentration gradient is larger. Concentration is larger, particles move higher.
Diffusion.
Daripada tempat yang kalau high concentration to low concentration tak perlu ada energy, terus je bergerak. That is the fusion. Require energy from respiration. Key dia energy.
Energy.
Barulah active transport. Senang kan? Apa senang? Okay. Why active transport is important in root hair cell? 3 markah. Active transport in root hair cell. Kenapa perlu? Ingat tak soalan kita tadi? Dekat akar tu, dia nak ambil apa?
Ion.
Ion apa?
Nitrite ion.
Nitrate ion. So, bila dia tanya why active transport is needed. Okay. So, bagi tahu why nitrate ion is high in the cell. Nitrate ion is low in the
Soil.
soil. Root hair cell use energy to absorb
Nitrate
nitrate
ion.
ion into the cell. The process need energy. Dah. Boleh dapat. 1, 2, 3. Setuju? Senang je kan?
Nah.
First kita kena bagi tahu dulu. Kenapa kena buat active transport? Dia kena buat active transport sebab ni reason utama dia. Dekat dalam soil sikit. Dekat dalam sel tu dah banyak dah. Tapi kenapa dia kena buat aktif? Sebab dia dah banyak dah. Tapi dia nak lagi. Macam tu. So because of the nak lagi, maka dia kena use energy to absorb nitrate into the cell. The process needed energy. Oh, yang ni dah ada dah. Okay. Okay, clear or not? You boleh juga tambah nitrate ion is needed to produce amino acid in the cell, in the plants. Alright, so I think that's it for today. So topik ni walaupun sebenarnya topik ni dia basic tau, dia base fundamental. Orang betul-betul topik ni sebab konsep yang diajar dalam topik ni akan diulang berkali-kali dalam topik-topik lain. And as you can see, masuk je 3.2, page yang seterusnya terus ada eksperimen. I kan terdelete tau my soft copy page 50. Terus dia jump into 51. Korang nanti cari tau. Nanti I share link untuk tengok cikgu-cikgu MRSM buat eksperimen 3.1, 3.2. Oh, terbalik. Nia. Nia page 50 ada. Page 50 adalah study the movement of substances across a selectively permeable membrane. Dia bagi apa? Dia bagi korang 400 ml of distilled water dekat dalam beaker. Lepas tu dia bagi you whisking tube. Dalam whisking tube, dia letak 10 ml of glucose and 10 ml of starch. Dia mix together. Lepas tu dia ikat whisking tube. Lepas tu dia rendam kat dalam beaker for about, I think 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, remove and transfer the whisking tube into a dry beaker. Conduct iodine test for the solution in the whisking tube and in the beaker. Okay, selepas 30 minit, ambil daripada sini 5 ml. Ambil daripada dalam whisking tube 5 ml juga. Buat apa? Buat iodine test. Okay, what do you think hasil untuk A? Ada tak iodine test untuk test apa? Siapa tahu? Iodine test untuk cek kehadiran? Kehadiran?
Glucose.
Touch.
Starch.
Iodine test untuk cek kehadiran starch. Okay, iodine warna dia brownish. Kalau ada starch, warna brownish tukar jadi blue black. Okay, what do you think in A? A ni lepas buat iodine test, warna iodine jadi warna apa?
Blue black.
Untuk A. A tu adalah distilled water dalam beaker.
No change.
change.
Warna dia adalah brownish. Kalau B, warna dia jadi
Blue.
Black.
blue black. Kenapa yang dalam ni jadi blue black? Sebab dia ada starch.
Starch.
Kenapa yang dalam distilled water ni brownish, maintain, tak berubah? Sebab dia tak ada starch, yang ni ada starch. Kenapa yang ni tak ada starch?
Tak diffuse.
Sebab starch ni dia tak boleh keluar daripada the whisking tubing. Kenapa dia tak boleh keluar?
Complex molecule.
Dia kompleks dan dia key dia kat sini adalah big. Key tu starch tu molecule dia bigger than pores in the whisking tubing. So that starch tak boleh keluar from the whisking tubing. Okay, lepas dah buat iodine test, eksperimen ni disambung dengan Benedict test. Pernah tak buat Benedict test?
Nah.
Okay, kalau Benedict test, kita nak cek kehadiran apa?
Glucose.
Glucose. Okay, sama juga. A dan B. A, distilled water, buat Benedict test. Dapat warna apa? Biru of the Benedict test turn to?
Red precipitate.
Good job. Brick red precipitate. B pula, of course lah dapat brick red precipitate juga. Menunjukkan dua-dua distilled water ada glucose, dalam ni confirm lah ada glucose, memang kita letak glucose. It shows that glucose is a
Small molecule.
small molecule and able to diffuse through the whisking tubing. So that is the major thing yang kita nak buat dalam eksperimen ini. Okay. So Selective permeable membrane allows small molecule to pass through. Okay. Only small molecule are able to diffuse through a selective permeable membrane, while a large molecule cannot pass through the permeable membrane. Okay, hypothesis is accepted. Setuju? The variable kita adalah molecule size. Molecule size tu apa? Iodine dengan starch dengan
Dengan
Glucose.
glucose. Yeay, settle. Kejap je belajar. Okay, next experiment 3.2. Studying the movement of substances across a Vizking tubing using a simple osmometer. Osmometer tu macam gini. Yang ni pun korang kena buat tau nanti. Yang ni masuk exam tak hari tu? Masuk rasanya. Okay. Dia letak apa? Dekat dalam beaker letak distilled water. Dekat dalam Vizking tube letak 30% sucrose solution. Okay. Kat mana water potential high? Dekat dalam beaker ke kat dalam Vizking?
Dalam beaker.
Pandai. Water potential dekat sini high. Dekat dalam Vizking, water potential low. So, air bergerak dari mana ke mana? Water diffuse into the Vizking tubing.
Vizking tube.
Kalau water diffuse into the Vizking tubing, auto dia akan push air dekat dalam capillary tube ni untuk naik lebih tinggi. So nanti you akan dapat masa time kosong berapa tinggi dia. Masa time 2 minutes berapa tinggi dia. 4 minutes berapa kenaikan dia. Teng. Sampailah kita boleh buat graf untuk menunjukkan movement of the water dekat dalam capillary tube. So you akan nampak dia macam ni. Apa dia dekat X? Apa dia dekat Y? Time. Unit dia? Minute. Y apa?
Level of sucrose.
Level of sucrose.
Level of sucrose. Unit dia apa? M.
MM.
Apa sahaja dekat sini, tulislah di sini. Di sini. Apa sahaja dekat sini, tulislah di sini. Ataupun key dia. Ni teknik menjawab X always MV. MV always dekat X axis. Y is always RV. RV is always at Y axis. Dapat? Orang dah tahu key ni nak jawab soalan paper sheet. Ya Allah ya Tuhanku. Bapak senang. Cinta. Okay, so next class teacher dah boleh dah discuss dengan korang soalan-soalan yang melibatkan paper 6. Tapi sebelum tu kita kena sambung discuss this one. 3.3 movement of across plasma membrane in living organism. Kita apply the processes dekat kehidupan yang sebenar. Nanti korang jumpa tonicity. Okay, this one kita belajar next class boleh? Kita ada
Boleh.
3 lagi pertemuan. So pertemuan yang ni keempat ke ketiga, 5? 1, 2. Tak apalah. Next class teacher sambung this one first. Then baru I keluarkan soalan-soalan paper 6 ya. And I bagi you teknik menjawab paper 6. Boleh?
Boleh.
Alright. Korang dah ada kan buku text of copy ni? Ada So, before kita masuk kelas nanti, korang study lah dulu. Baca sikit, okay? 3.3. So, korang tak ada idea langsung. Tapi minggu ni korang dah banyak kelas kan? Malam pun ada kelas kan? Tak. Cari peluang, okay? Cari peluang. So, Cici cuti dulu. Hari Selasa, Rabu, hari Khamis baru kita jumpa balik kan? Khamis dan Jumaat. Ya ke? Tak, Jumaat dengan Sabtu. Because hari Khamis I ada kelas with Form 5. Diorang nak SPM. Biology belum paper lagi, belum exam lagi. Okay guys, so jumpa balik hari Jumaat nanti. So within the time, nanti teacher bagi link untuk korang tengok eksperimen untuk topik yang tadi. Topik yang ni ya. Macam mana diorang buat eksperimen. Alright. Alright guys. I hope that you gain some knowledge from today class. I terkeluar ke? Guys, you all ada lagi ke tak?
Ada.
Ya.
Teacher.
Ada.
Chang! Thank you for the love. Okay guys, nanti teacher bagi I nak bagi apa tadi? I nak bagi link untuk eksperimen. Okay, so per hari ni belajar tau. Jangan lepak-lepak
Okay, ni.
lagi main game. Belajar tau. Cici nak pergi holiday kejap. Bawa my kids. Sini, abang-abang nak tengok. Adi nak pergi mana? Nak pergi jalan-jalan. Nak pergi mandi kolam. Okay, bye. Thank you very much. Kita tutup kelas kita dengan surah Al-As dan Tasbih Kifara. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wal-as inna insana lafi khusr illa allazina amanu wa amilu salihah wa tawassaw bil haqq wa tawassaw bis sabr. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika asyhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Amin ya rabbal alamin.
Thank you, Miss.
Thank you, Miss.
Bye.
Thank you, Miss.
Thank you, Miss.
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Sabar.
Thank you, Miss.
Okay, bye.